Hello everyone. I'll be starting with my mock exam consisting of 180 questions. It's the part 2. I have previously attempted 100 questions and I got 82 correct answers. Now I'll be attempting the rest of the 18 questions. Let's get started. So 101 this question. Let's get started. Managing a healthcare software implementation project using a hybrid approach that combines agile and waterfall methodologies. The project manager must unite the team around shared goals while navigating the complexities of the healthcare sectors. What steps should the project manager take to ensure the team operates as a cohesive unit? Facilitate regular cross-functional workshop to align team members on shared goals and methodologies. Implement a rigid schedule with clearly defined roles and minimal flexibility to prevent confusion. Delegate responsibility for aligning the team to department leads. Use separate project management tool for agile model to maintain clarity. He should behave like a facilitator. As the project manager for the large renewable energy project, environmental regulations have forced your traditionally on-site team to shift to remote work. Okay. Team members express concern about their inexperience, challenges in maintaining productivity and communications. Okay. What steps should you take to ensure the team stays productive and cohesive in a remote setting? Schedule weekly one-on-one checks in with each team member. No. Conduct a training session on remote communication tool and collaboration technique to equip the team for the transition. I like this answer. Establish strict guidelines for remote work hours and productivity benchmark. Provide a stipend for team member to set up for ergonomic home office to improve focus and comfort. I think training session is a better option. Project manager is tasked with delivering a critical disaster response application in one third of the usual development time due to an ongoing crisis. The expedited timeline is non-negotiable, requiring the team to focus on timely delivery while maintaining the essential functionality. Disaster response application in one third of the usual development time due to there is some crisis. Okay, the expedited timeline is non-negotiable, requiring the team to focus on timely delivery while maintaining. What should the project manager do to ensure project meets its objective within the constrained time? Prioritize the development of critical application feature and defer non-essential components for future updates. Increase the number of team members to divide tasks, expedite the development process, extend work hours, and enforce overtime to ensure all planned features are completed on time. Streamline communication channel to enhance team efficiency. No, there is critical disaster response application in one third of the usual time due to ongoing crisis. Okay. Timeline is non-negotiable. It is non requiring the team to focus on timely delivery while maintaining the essential functionality. What should the project manager to ensure the project remains? I think he should prioritize the critical features first. Increasing the number of team members is also sounds like right to me. But I think prioritizing the development of critical application features and therefore non-essential. Let's go with this. It somehow sounds right. Since it's a disaster response, increasing the team member could also lead to like how they will be onboarded and what kind of knowledge they will have. I think that's why I'm not liking this answer. Still, let's move on to the next question. During the execution phase of a large scale environmental restoration project, the project manager encounters a debate among team members regarding the extension of the timeline due to unforeseen regulatory changes. Okay, how should the project manager proceed? There is some unforeseen regulatory change. Stick to the stakeholder communication plan for systematic engagement and decision. Direct implement the timeline extension. No. Timeline extension. No. Analyze the impact of timeline extension on project deliverables. Mm, schedule. I'll be using that technique. Like I'll just read the questions, answers first, and then the question. Schedule an urgent meeting with stakeholder to discuss the implication of incorporating the security feature. Conduct a risk assessment to understand the impact of adding the security feature. At this stage, prioritize the security features. Seek additional resources. Halfway through a software development project, the project manager identified that an important security feature was potentially omitted. This feature is essential for the software to meet industry security guidelines. The project manager understands that integrating this feature promptly is crucial to prevent potential security breaches. What is the most effective course of action for the project manager to take to ensure the project adheres to security standards and remains on track? Now, in this question, wherein we have an urgent meeting and risk assessment, I always get confused. As per my understanding, I should do a risk assessment, but here it is saying that the feature is very crucial to prevent the security breaches. That means, and it was omitted from the book of works, I guess, and that an important security feature was potentially omitted. So this is something they have already included in their PMP scope statement or something, but it was omitted and it is essential. So now therefore I am unable to get to an answer. As per this, since it is an already identified risk, we should schedule a meeting. But I have seen scenarios where I have selected an urgent meeting with stakeholder, but the answer is the risk assessment. So
This is a very difficult question for me. He's halfway through conducting a risk assessment to understand the impact of adding security at this stage of the project. Most effective first step should be the risk assessment, but it's saying what is the most effective. Let's go with the meeting, and then I'll check what is the answer if get it wrong. During a healthcare facility, provide the stakeholder with project timeline highlighting when the advanced technology features are scheduled for integration. Confirm with the stakeholder that the expectation will be integrated into the design revision process. Organize a detailed presentation on the current project status and for future milestone. Initiate a review session with the design team to assess the project scope, including the shareholders' expected features. During a healthcare facility upgrade project, a project manager is informed that stakeholders that certain advanced technological features expected by the shareholders are not visible in the preliminary design. How should the project manager effectively address the stakeholder concern? No. Provide timeline, I think. Organize a workshop focused on team integration, collaboration, problem solving. Implement a flexible work process to accommodate individual work. Establish one-on-one check-ins to understand personal concern. Initiate a competitive incentive to encourage collaboration and productivity. Following a corporate restructuring, the project manager noted that the newly assembled team is having difficulty adapting to their collective role, with members often preferring to work in isolation rather than as a unified. The behavior is affecting the synergy and efficiency of the project work. What should the project manager do to enhance team timing and ensure a smooth collaboration among the team members? Team integration and problem solving. Team integration. Initiate a competitive incentive program to encourage. How will it help it? There is a behavioral problem. Incentives won't help, I guess, in this situation. But let's move on to the next question. In an initiative to manage a software development team spread across multiple continents, a project manager seeks to enhance collaboration and ensure synchronous work dynamics. The team's diversity in culture and geography presents a unique challenge in maintaining the effective collaboration. What initiatives should the project manager prioritize to ensure effective team collaboration? Schedule a daily stand-up meeting in the team's primary time zone to provide consistent updates. Organize cross-cultural training sessions to improve the understanding and collaboration among the team members. Assign a local team lead in each region. Use asynchronous communication tool to allow team members to collaborate at their own pace. In an initiative to manage a primary seeks to enhance collaboration and ensure synchronous work dynamics. The team's diversity in culture and maintaining effective communication. Okay. I think we need to use the asynchronous communication tool to allow the team member to collaborate at their own pace. Conduct an internal review to identify why outdated specifications were used and implement a process improvement plan. Replace the third-party component with an in-house solution to regain control. Engage with the third-party vendor to discuss updating the component specification. Negotiate a revised delivery timeline. Proceed with the current component to avoid further delays. In the critical validation stage of a software development project, a third-party component fails to meet the expected performance benchmark. The discrepancy leads to significant concerns about meeting the project timeline. The project manager identifies that the failure is due to component being developed based on outdated specification. What is the most appropriate action for the project manager to engage with the third-party vendor? Yes. Schedule a session with IT department to explore technical solution for concurrent development activities. Convene a collaborative workshop with the project team to jointly find a solution. For the technical environment upgrade, initiate a vote among the team on the most preferred technical solution. Refer the technical challenge to the project steering committee for a strategic decision on the tool upgrade. In the midst of accelerating a complex web development project, the project manager identifies a significant challenge. The project's current development tool do not support simultaneous coding effort on the same module by different developers. This limitation is causing delay and there is a consensus that a tool upgrade is necessary, yet there is no agreement on the approach. What should the project manager prioritize as an immediate step? Uh, mhm. Let's go with the solution with the team. Although I like this answer, but I have not seen this project steering committee for strategic decision on the tool upgrade. As a project manager, we should not give away our work. I don't know. I'm confused in this. I'm not pretty sure. I think let's go with this. Let's go with this. Although, because there is a problem. The problem is that we need a upgrade. Team is agreeing to it, but there is no agreement on the approach. So since we need to decide on what approach to follow, I think we should go to the committee for strategic decision. Introduced a variable cost model to enhance transparency regarding the allocation and utilization of funds across the sprint. Implemented a comprehensive tracking system for all financial transactions to reduce the product owners' need to inquire during meeting. Coordinated a series of workshops aimed at reinforcing the principle of agile methodologies and emphasizing the role of value over cost. Clarified the product owner's responsibility with an agile framework and the purpose agile ceremonies to cultivate a value centric mindset. During the development of a critical software application, project manager notices that the product owner is excessively concerned with the financial details of each development phase, overshadowing the focus on product quality and functionality. What proactive measures should the project manager have considered at the project's initiation? Okay. Clarify the product owner's responsibility within an agile framework and the purpose of agile ceremonies to cultivate a value-centric mindset. Series of workshop? No. Tracking system cost model to enhance. I think I should have clarified the product owner's responsibilities. Calculate the total budget at completion by including both executed tasks and those planned for future development. Implement a parametric estimate technique using statistical model based on historical data to project the MVP cost. Utilize the analog uh, estimating method by comparing the MVP with similar project previously completed within the organization. Engage in expert judgment by consulting with professionals who have experienced similar projects to derive a cost estimate. Upon request from a board for the estimated costs for delivering the minimum viable product for a new initiative, the project manager provide a financial forecast essential for securing the project approval. What approach should the project manager utilize to accurately project the cost of the MVP? I think expert judgment. Identify potential risks and prioritize based on. their likelihood and impact, communicate to stakeholders the assessment would be addressed during project, establish a contingency fund to handle unforeseen risk as they are assigned responsible for risk and relevant to individual. No. Fourth one is the no. At the outset of a project failure to act on risk mitigation strategy led to significant schedule setback, causing frustration among key staff. What should have been done? The been the project manager's initial action. He should have identified the risk and their impact. Strategically assess the incoming contractor manager's approach and interest to adapt the project engagement strategy. Plan a brief session for the new contract manager covering the project timeline, milestone, and achieve the start delay any critical negotiation with vendor until the new contract manager is adequately acquainted with the project details. Upgrade the project risk management plan to reflect potential changes in vendor relation due to the new contract manager's onboarding. In the midst of the project with significant reliance on external vendor, it comes to light that the contract manager seeing this relationship will be replacing the upcoming. What is the most crucial step for the project manager? I think we should update the risk management plan to reflect potential changes in vendor relationship. Request the client organization to reinstate original liaison temporarily to facilitate the transition. Immediately send the new liaison all project documentation and report to bring them to speed on the project schedule and introductory meeting with the new. Immediately send the new launch on all project documentation report to bring them up to speed. Schedule an introductory meeting with the new license to provide a comprehensive project briefing and discuss their expectations. Assign a team member to act point of contact. No. Fourth option is a no. A project manager is informed that the main client liaison critical for project communication on a major urban development has been changed due to the original context and availability. The new liaison is unfamiliar with the project. What is the most effective initial step the project manager should take to ensure seamless transition and continued project schedule and introductory meeting? I think establish a milestone tracking system to monitor progress and identify production early. Delegate responsibility for monitoring critical component to individual. No. Implement weekly status meeting. Team members provide verbal update. No. Create a penalty system for women who fail to meet the deadline to enforce accountability. I think first. Rest other is very poor responses. During a critical project phase for a startup, the project manager discovers a delay in the delivery of a crucial component. Despite prior assurances from the team member that it was on track, this delay now threatens the project timeline. What proactive steps should have been taken? So, that tracking system. Assign leadership roles within the team to boost accountability and engagement. Introduce individual performance incentives to encourage competition and productivity. Implement strict deadline for each sprint so that team remains focused. Facilitate regular team retrospective to identify improvement opportunities and celebrate success. In navigating a complexities of an agile project, the project manager seeks methods to significantly enhance team engagement and maintain high motivation levels. Okay, what action should the project manager consider as a primary strength? He should No. Team engagement and high motivation level. I think introduce individual performance incentives, I guess. Although I like this answer, regular team retrospectives, but retrospectives are done at the end of the sprint. It will be done. So why he needs to facilitate it? Go with the that one. Going with the other option. Develop a detailed communication plan to provide frequent update and reassurance to Sriguna. Assign additional resources to critical tasks. No. Conduct a comprehensive rebaselining of the project. Establish realistic schedule and budget aligned with the current situation. Shift focus to less complex deliverable to achieve quick wins and regain confidence. Okay. Facing a critical juncture where the project is lagging behind its schedule and exceeding its budget, raising alarm among stakeholders regarding upcoming deliverables, the project has initiated a dialogue with the stakeholder to outline the project's current status. What measures should the project manager prioritize, develop a frequent, conduct a rebaseline on current situation? Solicit unwavering support for the executive leadership to champion the transformation throughout the organization. Systematically evaluate the implication of each change and associated with that regular interval. Promote an open dialogue with governance framework to build trust and clarity around transformation's objective. Engage department leader early in the process to neutralize any opposition to the forthcoming changes. In undertaking a significant organizational overhaul to improve change management and delivery of value, a project manager is facilitating the implementation of phased changes with the team. What proactive measures should the project manager focus on? Engage with the early in the month to neutralize any opposition to the forthcoming changes. Rotate tasks among team members to ensure no single individual feels the brunt of the workload. Encourage the team member to work additional hours temporarily to meet sprint goals. Reduce the scope of each sprint. Reevaluate and refine the team's capacity planning process to ensure sprint commitment align with the realistic workload. In the midst of an agile, project, the project team realized that the effort needed to complete sprint tasks consistently exceeded available value leading to burnout. What proactive measures should the project manager consider? He should reevaluate and refine the team's capacity. Assign specific user stories to team member based on their skill set to improve efficiency. Reduce the number of user stories planned for each team to ensure they are completed more consistent. Conduct a retrospective with the team to identify challenges and improved opportunities in their sprint planning and execution. Implement stricter time tracking to monitor and optimize the team's performance. Noticing that the project team has consistently fallen short in achieving their sprint goal for user stories, the project manager seeks a solution to improve sprint completion rates effectively. What action should the project manager consider as the most beneficial first step? Conducting a retrospective. Encourage team members to participate in Encourage team members to participate in peer-led skill sharing session to quickly close the skill gaps. Consider the reallocation of tasks within the team to better match current skill levels and project need. Arrange for a targeted training program within team budget to upskill the team. Seek approval from senior manager for additional resources.
During a critical phase of a waterfall software project execution, project manager our project manager notices that specific team members are struggling with during a critical phase of a waterfall software project execution, our project manager notices that specific team members are struggling with technical skills due to skill gaps. Okay. What steps should the project manager take to ensure the project remains on schedule? Hmm. The specific team member are struggling with technical tasks due to skill gap. What steps should the project manager take to ensure the project remains on schedule without adding additional cost? Team member to participate in peer-led skill sharing session to quickly close the skill gap. Consider the relocation of tasks within the team member. Arrange for a targeted. I think this. In the develop, collaborate with the project to evaluate and address the listed concern based on their urgency and impact. In the development phase of an in the development project team member explain concern about numerous potential technical hurdles and their impact on the project delivery. The team member compiles a detailed list of these concerns, seek guidance from the project know how to proceed. What action collaborate with the project team and incorporate the list in the assigned dedicated task and forward the project quality should collaborate with the team.
instituted a comprehensive stakeholder engagement plan to ensure all voices are heard and integrated in the project planning, adopted a more flexible approach to project management method to accommodate changing stakeholder expectation, enhanced team training on the project's technical and business aspect to ensure a deeper understanding of the project goal, organize a regular sprint review meeting with the product owner, conducting team to close the feedback loop. A project manager A project manager is overseeing a project designed to deliver iterative enhancement to an existing service, and the project team efficiently establish a prioritized product owner's diagram. Despite this, the product owner later voices concern to senior manager about the project's direction not aligning with expected. What should the project manager have undertaken to avoid this? Designed to deliver the iterative project team has efficiently established a product later voices concern to senior about the project planning not aligning with expectation. Schedule on an all hands meeting to discuss project performance and individual contribution. Establish an online forum for the project team to post accomplishments and receive peer feedback. Introduce a quarterly review system that focuses on project specific achievements and growth areas. Enhance documentation of individual performance and metric and provide regular personalized feedback session. After a project milestone, a team member voices concern over the lack of detailed feedback regarding their project contribution. The individual feels that without specific insight, their inability to improve and impact the projects positively is limited. What steps should the project manager consider first? What steps should the project manager consider first? Enhance documentation of individual and provide regular personal feedback sessions. Okay. Initiate a brainstorming session with the stakeholder to identify alternative solutions for the missing feature. Arrange a detailed discussion with the project to understand the oversight and develop a correct commission and external audit. Recommend a suspension of project delivery timeline. During a project review, the client identified a crucial feature in the new software application that was discussed but not implemented. The project manager verified that this feature wasn't documented as part of the project. What should the project what should the project manager undertake as a primary? He should arrange a detailed discussion with the project to understand the oversight and develop a corrective action plan. Schedule an urgent project team meeting to brainstorm potential solution to the quality issue. Request an immediate comprehensive audit on all super delivery to identify the project of the problem, scope of the problem. Refer to the project risk for determine mitigation actions. Draft an urgent communication to supplier demanding an explanation proper rectification plan. Upon discovering a significant quality issue with the key supplier deliverable, the project manager need to address the problem to maintain the project standard. What should the project manager first action would be? Refer to the project risk. I think there's a risk, quality risk that has arisen, and he should look for the mitigation action. Then obviously he can schedule a meeting solution to get find the solutions. Emphasize to the project team to the importance of routing all project communication through the project manager to ensure consistency and accuracy. Conduct a workshop with the project team to underscore the significance of adhering through the project's communication, and schedule a meeting with the client to directly address their concern and clarify and misunderstanding of the project. Collaboratively review the communication with the team to ensure everyone understands and follow the established protocol. After an unscheduled discussion, a project team member advises the client on potential project delays due to frequent change in requirement. What proactive steps should the project manager take to manage project communication more effectively? Collaboratively review the communication management plan with the team to ensure everyone understands and follows the established protocols. Arrange a mediation session with a neutral third party to facilitate a structured resolution of the conflict. Assign a senior team member to monitor the situation and report back for. Um, Separate the team member by reassigning their role as possible to minimize direct interaction. Emphasize the importance of collaboration and teamwork in the team meeting to encourage resolution. During the project execution phase, conflict between two key members have persisted despite attempt to foster open communication facilitated by the project team member. The disagreement has started to impact team morale and overall productivity. What action should the project manager consider as the next step to resolve the conflict effectively? Arrange a mediation session. Senior team member to monitor the situation, separate the team member, assigning the role to minimize direct interaction. Team to all the answers are very bad. If there is a problem in the team, they have a disagreement, they have a conflict, then if we emphasize the importance of collaboration, it will not solve anything. But arranging a mediation session, although it doesn't sound right, but we are doing something about the problem. So I'll go with this one. Arrange a brainstorming session with the team and pilot alternative to complete the task. Initiate a risk assessment meeting to evaluate the impact of the delay on the project timeline. Schedule a one-on-one meeting with the team member to identify any obstacle and provide support. Encourage the team member to provide a detailed on the challenge faced in completing the task. A team member has been reporting no progress on a crucial task for several days during the grilled stand-up meeting, causing a potential delay in the project now. This task is critical for the next phase. What should the project schedule a one-on-one meeting? Conduct a feasibility study to evaluate the potential benefits and risk of integrating the blockchain. Assemble a cross-function team to begin developing and organize a series of workshops with IT and data security to understand technique and prepare a detailed project plan outlining the timeline. A project manager in a healthcare organization has been tasked by the CEO to integrate blockchain technology to enhance data security. And after the CEO attended the seminar, what is the first step in the feasibility study. First step should be feasibility study. Recommend a comprehensive review and potential overhaul. Initiate a thorough risk evaluation to ascertain the flaws, potential impact on project. Develop, update the project quality assurance plan to encompass this new discovery. Propose the introduction of additional project phases to rectify the identified design. Upon discovering a critical design issue in a software project, stakeholders are uncertain about proceeding with its implementation as planned. What is the most effective first step for the project manager to take address stakeholders' concern? Initiate a thorough risk evaluation to ascertain the flaws, potential impact on project deliverables. Organize a conflict resolution meeting to address and potentially resolve the interpersonal issue between the team member. Propose an immediate team restructuring. Emphasize the project's commitment to a respectful and inclusive workplace by reiterating the diversity and inclusion guidelines. Seek guidance from the PMO to determine the best one. Suggest a temporary team reassignment for both individuals to assess the impact on project timeline, team morale. At the outset of a new phase in a project, after a successful kickoff meeting at the client site, a team member requests a transfer to another project due to discomfort with the colleague's behavior during the first face-to-face interaction. What are the most organized conflict? These two. Implement an interactive tutorial with the document management system to guide stakeholders through the navigation process. Ensure all stakeholders are trained on how to use the document management system and knowledge and know the location of critical project document development feedback. Develop a feedback mechanism within the document management system for stakeholder report accessibility. Create a dedicated helpline for stakeholder to call and receive guidance on accessing the project documents. In a hybrid project environment, stakeholders are experiencing challenging accessing the most recent version of the project's schedule in the project's online document management system. What proactive measures should the project manager undertake? They should be trained on how to use the system and know the location of the critical project documents. Implement a code review process to identify and address the defect before the progress to the testing. Enhance communication with stakeholders to refine project requirements and expectation. Introduce automated testing tool to increase efficiency and coverage of bug detection. Revisit and adjust the project scope to better align with the current project realities and client needs. In the midst of a software development project, the project manager notices that software features are not aligned with the client's requirement, leading to an increase in bugs reported during testing. What is the most effective course of action for the management? Implement a code and risk defect before the application to refine project requirements and revisit and adjust the better align with current project realities and client need. Communication problem is there with the AI leading to an increase in bug reporting. that software features are not aligning with the requirements, leading to increase in bug. How come? Consult with the procurement department to explore potential vendors and negotiate the best price for the new software. Examine the cost management plan to decide how to proceed with the suggested upgrade. Discuss with the project team to prioritize software features that can be developed with the existing tool. Conduct a cost benefit analysis to evaluate the impact of upgrading the software on the project timeline. A project manager is managing a software development project when it's discovered that the project coded software is outdated, potentially affecting the project's next phase. The development team suggests upgrading to a more advanced software version to meet the project's future needs effectively. What should the project manager do? Conduct a cost benefit analysis to evaluate the impact of upgrading the software. Provide a comprehensive reports on all aspects of the project, including technical detail to address any concern about insufficient comprehensive report. We don't give it to anybody. Increase the frequency of project update to ensure the sales department head is kept informed of all development. Assign a team member to gather detailed user adoption data and directly relate to the sales. Collaborate with the sales department head to identify specific metrics and insights they need and incorporate these into future updates. During the deployment of a new customer relationship system, the sales department had contacts the project manager to express concern that the updates provided lack specific on user adoption rates and feedback. What should the project manager do to ensure the sales department had received the necessary information to gauge the project success? Collaborate with them. Organize a site visit for community leader to observe the environmentally friendly practices being implemented. Distribute an informational brochure, host a virtual presentation, launch a community feedback initiative to gather suggestions on further improving the park's environmental friendliness. Project manager is leading the development of a new park in a densely populated urban area. Community leader raised their concern that the project approach to maintaining the natural habitat and promoting biodiversity. What should the project manager do to address these concerns and demonstrate the project's commitment environment to environmental system community feedback initiative? Celebrate the team's achievement and encourage continued focus on improving present detail and with client feedback and request additional effort to improve the project's outcome. Assign more challenging tasks to high performing team and discuss ways to leverage the current success to secure additional resources and expanded project scope. A project manager oversees a marketing campaign that has been constantly meeting its milestone. After a recent review with the client, the project received high praise for its timely progress. The project manager then prepares for an upcoming team meeting to discuss current project status and future tasks. What action should the project manager take during this team meeting? Celebrate the team's achievement and encourage continued performance. Yeah, celebrate the achievement, I guess. Organize an interactive session for stakeholders showcasing real-time progress and tangible output. Issue a visually engaging infographic summarizing key milestones achieved and future objectives and future projections. Initiate a quarterly feedback loop inviting stakeholders to contribute insights and suggestions for enhancing project outcomes. Introduce an accelerated phase completion plan by augmenting the project team with additional skilled professionals. As a project manager spearheading a complex hybrid project nearing its 1 year mark, you face growing concern among stakeholders regarding the perceivable benefits of the project. should engage in products and okay. Extend the project timeline internally, encourage the client to formalize their request for a postponement to align with their new readiness, devising a plan to adjust the project schedule and mitigate the impact of the delay, proceed with delivery. The project documentation on revision schedule, allowing the client to manage the internal readiness. A project nears completion, the project manager informs the client that the project is ready for handover as planned. Following successful acceptance challenge, and the client indicates their team will need an additional 2 weeks before they can accept the hire. What action should the project manager take? Extend the project timeline internally to implement the client new readiness timeline. Encourage the client to formalize their request for postponement to align with the new readiness timeline. Devise a plan to adjust the project schedule and mitigate the impact of the delay. Proceed with delivering the project documentation. Encourage the formalizing for postponement. Conduct a comprehensive review session after each sprint to refine the development process. Organize specialized training sessions for the project team to evaluate their understanding and execution of quality standard. Initiate an in-depth analysis with the project team to identify underlying cause of quality issue and devise the corrective measures. Focus on op- revising and optimizing the project execution strategy to directly tackle and correct the identified quality issue in future deliverables. During the project execution, the project manager identified that the project deliverables have consistently failed to meet the predefined quality standards set by the stakeholder, affecting the project schedule and project metrics. What steps should the project manager to initiate an in-depth analysis of the project team to identify a quality issue? Initiate a project audit to assess financial expenditure of the previous project for budgeting accuracy. Conduct a comparative analysis for the current project scope against the scope of the. Examine the documented learned lesson for the previous project to apply valuable answer. Engage with previous project team for a brief session. In the initial stage of planning a new project manager discovered that a project with similar goal has recently completed. What should the project manager do? He should examine the lesson learned register. Propose discussing the subcontractor's role with the project stakeholder to explore replacement options for agility alignment. Encourage the subcontractor to self-study agile methodology as the subcontractor to take a course outside. Pair the subcontractor with a team member to mentor them on alignment, integrating learning with the project work. After discussing that the subcontractor on agile project lacks expertise in agile methodologies, the project manager must decide the best course of action. Subcontractor on an agile subcontractor wanted team member delegate challenges to more experienced organizer, find a new solution, encourage the team member to research potential solution, present the solution documented in the lesson learned from the previous project to the entire team before the project was executed. During the development phase of a critical project, team member encounters a complex issue similar to one resolved in previous initiative. Unaware of the prior solution, the team member is determined to tackle the challenge independently. What proactive measures should the project manager take to address the situation? Present the solution documented in the lesson. Previous project to the entire team before the entire team before the project was executed. Foster an environment of trust and encourage the team to take ownership of their task. Introduce an external oversight committee to evaluate the team decision process. Implement a structured reward system based on individual performance. Schedule daily progress check to closely monitor each team member. A project manager is at the helm of an advanced agile team tasked with delivering a critical project. The team is known for their high level of expertise and autonomy in previous projects. What approach should the project manager to ensure the project's objectives are met? Foster an environment of trust and encourage the team to take the ownership. Rely solely on the PMO template to streamline documentation, focus on tool implementation, engage the project team and stakeholder in a workshop to ensure the tool aligns with their needs and processes. Implement the tool immediately and allow the team to adopt organically as the project progresses. Delegates the tool setup and integration to an external vendor to ensure rapid deployment. A project manager is integrating a new online collaboration tool to better match the evolving organizational structure. Following the endorsement of the project charter and commencement of detailed project planning, the PMO has issued comprehensive templates for the project documentation to be used. What approach should the project manager to ensure the project success? Engage the project in a workshop to ensure the tool aligns with their needs and processes. Organize a detailed code review with the development team to address technical issue. Initiate a quality assurance review. Reference the project scopes document to verify alignment with the agreed functionality. Conduct a performance assessment to identify potential enhancements or optimizations. During a project update meeting, a client voices concern regarding the functionality of a newly developed software module, suggesting it might not fully meet their operational need. What should the project manager do first? Reference to the scope document to verify alignment with the agreed functionalities. Conduct a thorough impact analysis to evaluate how the addition of this public power would affect the project's timeline, but approve the inclusion, respectfully reject the local government suggestion to keep the project within its original scope, request the local government to provide additional funding and extend timeline to accommodate the proposed change. Doing a review of an urban development project, the local government is adding a part to the project that could improve community satisfaction but might also delay the completion and increase the budget. Thorough analysis. Coordinate with the legal team to understand the implication of the contract termination. Initiate an impact assessment to evaluate the impact of transitioning to a vendor in a different legal. Consult with industry peer for insight into managing international software vendor relations. Investigate international trade regulations that may affect the procurement of software services from the new vendor. A large-scale software integration project faces repeated delay and bugs from the current vendor. The decision is made to terminate the contract and engage a new innovative vendor from a country with a significant different legal jurisdiction. What is the project manager first action to facilitate the impact analysis? Organize a debrief session with the project team to compile impact statistics and achievements for the donor. Deliver a thorough comparison of project outcome with set goals in the final project summary. Record the project's achievement and environmental benefit and end of the project impact statement. Plan a representation for stakeholders to review the project progress and eventual outcomes. At the close of an environmental conservation project, a major donor asks the project manager for data to understand the project's achievement and its impact on conservation efforts. What should the project manager do to provide this? Organize a brief session, deliver thorough comparison, record the project's achievement and environmental benefit, and end of project impact statement. Plan a presentation to review the project. Plan a presentation for stakeholders to review the project and eventual outcome after a set period. Organize a debrief session with project team to compile impact statistic and achievement for the work with the team. Forward the email trail to the project team to highlight the QA manager's involvement. Suggest to the project sponsor that QA manager may need support or training to understand their role better. Recap the QA manager's approval and contribute in the forthcoming project newsletter. Arrange a one-on-one meeting with the QA manager to address their concerns, establish a mutual understanding. As a software development project nears completion, though quality assurance manager claim at several team meetings that they were not adequately consulted on key features and testing protocols. However, the project manager has emailed records of the QA manager's involvement and approval. How should the project manager arrange a one-on-one meeting? Assign the new team member to less critical tasks, work with the HR and facility to implement the required documentation, conduct an assessment to understand specific need of the disabled, request an extension of the project deadline, conduct an assessment. Midway through a critical software development project with a tight deadline and a demanding schedule, the project manager is informed that new Signal will be joining the team for action plan to and the smooth integration. Conduct an assessment. Engage an environmental specialist to revise the environmental management plan to include wildlife protection measures. Suggest the team conduct immediate on-site to gauge what current impact is. Continue with the project. Propose a project pause. Doing an environmental impact review of an energy project, the project manager discovered that environmental management plan does not adequately potential impact on local wildlife. What should the project engage and to revise the environmental management? Suggest the team conduct immediate on-site assessment to guard the current environmental and continue with the plan. Propose a project to lessen all environmental impact. Pause the project. There is a potential risk now, and it is an environmental impact. In such scenarios, I think project should be paused and all environmental MS impact should be reassessed. First is also a good option. Engage an environmental specialist to revise the environmental management plan to include the wildlife protection measures. First and fourth are good option. Let's go with the pause and we'll see. Although I'm sure first is also a nice option. Shortly after the project cook-off meeting to align on early objective. After the initial development sprint, once the first version of the product is ready, as soon as the team demands collaboration. As a new software development project cook-off when it is important, most appropriate for the project manager to conduct the first project status as soon as the after the initial development sprint is completed. Introduce a structured agenda with allocated time for each ensure for a developer rotating for planning session allowing different team members to lead. Encourage team members to contribute their suggestion on improving the planning process. Transition to a digital collaboration for planning sessions to provide flexibility in participation. Okay. I just forget that I'm recording this session and I start reading it on my own with low voice. Uh, Team members lack enthusiasm for participating in essential project planning session with many arriving later not contributing. What strategy should the project manager use? The engagement and active party. Develop a rotating leadership model for the planning sessions, allowing different team members to lead Encourage team to contribute then transition to initiate development based on the existing specifications while awaiting further clarification. Reach out to the client for clarification, confirmation of the project specific. Inform the project's key stakeholders about the potential for delays and scope clarification needs. Adjust the project timeline to accommodate potential changes in scope. When the project manager of a software development project finds that the specifications provided by the client are ambiguous, what is the most appropriate initial action? Reach out to the client for clarification and confirmation of the project specification. Report the schedule lag as a critical issue and request additional resources to accelerate the progress. Propose a revised project timeline to improve the schedule performance index without impacting the budget. Emphasize the positive cost efficiency while acknowledging the scheduling issues and present corrective action. Focus solely on the cost efficiency to maintain stakeholder confidence and downplay the schedule lag. While preparing for a quarterly review meeting, our project manager evaluates the project's key performance indicators and finds the schedule performance index at okay, we are lacking at the behind schedule, indicating a Lambert and under budget. The project manager aims to reassure the stakeholder that despite some scheduling issues, the project is manageable. What approach should the project manager take in reporting the status to the report the schedule lag as a critical issue and request additional resource to accelerate the project progress. Propose a revised project timeline to improve the schedule performance and without impacting the project. Emphasize the positive cost efficiency while acknowledging scheduling and present corrective action. Mm, Whenever there is some issue with the SPI and CPIs, we need to propose a change in some cost or resources. In this case, schedule performance without impacting the budget. Schedule a individual performance review to provide personalized feedback and growth plan. Conduct a project milestone assignment, acknowledge alternate will highlight the project collective achievement and the success attributed to the team as a whole, not individual. Implement a peer recognition program where team members can acknowledge each other's contribution. One project member feels their efforts are undervalued and compared to others, leading to a decline in their participation. What should the project manager do to mend the situation and uplift team cohesion? Implement the peer recognition where team members can acknowledge each other's contribution. Highlight projects' collective achievement, emphasize the successes achievement. Project milestone celebration to acknowledge all team members equally. Schedule individual performance review to provide personal feedback and growth plan. I think peer recognition, although I like the first answer better. Let's go with the peer recognition. But it is saying where team members can acknowledge each other's contribution. I think let's go with the first. Reassess the project plan with the project sponsor, prioritizing and align the scope with the available budget, secure a short-term loan from the organization, delay the project time, reduce the quality standards. Faced with a constrained budget and a tight deadline for launching a new product development project, the project manager discovered that current financial resources will not suffice to cover all the projected activities. What should the project manager do to assess the project plan with the sponsor? Collaborate with stakeholders to assess the project's existing plan. Initiate a pilot project within the current scope. Collaborate with project team to draft a detailed analysis comparing the long-term environmental benefits of the new system against the initial increase in project cost and timeline for stakeholder review. Engage an external consultant to evaluate the compatibility of the new irrigation system with the project sustainability goal and report findings to stakeholder. Okay, during a significant landscape redesign project, the project manager finds a cutting edge irrigation system that could drastically reduce water usage and maintenance cost. Introducing this system would necessitate a modest increase in both the project budget and time. Cutting edge irrigation system that will manage water usage and maintenance cost. What action should the project manager take first? Collaborate with the project team to draft a detailed analysis. Compare the. Oh, yes. Choose to establish a change control board to approve all requirement changes before implementation. Right, conduct regular retrospective to identify challenges and continuously improve the project. Assign a dedicated change manager to track and monitor all project changes. Maintain a rigid project plan to reduce the frequency of requirement changes. Introduce agile training session to improve team versatility and adaptability. During a critical phase of a healthcare software implementation project, the project manager realizes that the project to maintain the pace with rapid iteration and frequent changes in the project requirement, indicating a need for better cohesion framework to should the project to improve team performance. No, conduct a regular retrospective and introduce the agile trainings. Organize targeted training session to build the team's confidence and competence with the new system. Assign a team member to independently explore, replace the team member, shift project focus temporarily to less system dependent tasks while the team gradually targeted training. During the implementation phase of a groundbreaking environmental monitoring system for a sustainability initiative, the project manager notices that the project team is hesitant to fully adopt the technology, causing delays. स्मूथ ऑप्शन के लिए targeted training. Conduct a comprehensive lesson learned session with the previous project team to identify improvement and focus on completing the project within the timeline and improve customer success. Conduct a comprehensive market analysis to understand the user preference and industry trend. Develop a detailed risk management strategy focused on user experience issues identified in the past project. At the start of a new software development project aimed at enhancing an existing application, project manager discovered that a previous update had led to significant customer dissatisfaction. This information underscores the need for a better approach to ensure previous. What should the project do? Lesson learned, not lesson learned. We should comprehensive amount to understand user preference and industry standards. Hmm. Evaluate this existing project management infrastructure to identify potential enhancement for supporting agile methodologies. Develop a detailed agile implementation roadmap and seek approval from the organize an agile workshop to educate the team member and stakeholder on agile principles and how they can be adopted to a manufacturing environment. Strategy is full scale agile transformation, sequential department rollout, necessary support structures. A project manager starts with implementing agile methodologies in a manufacturing setting to improve efficiency and responsiveness. The goal is to gain the buy-in of both the team and development. What should the project manager do first? Organize a workshop. Develop a phased delivery plan and combine incremental results for the sponsor with detailed documentation and compliance reviews for stakeholder. Emphasize delivering quick wins to the sponsor by accelerating the timeline for incremental deliverables and streamlining the documentation process. Create a comprehensive project plan with detailed timelines and milestones, deferring incremental deliverables until compliance requirements are fully addressed. Schedule a collaborative session with the sponsor and stakeholder to agree on a hybrid or integrate both rapid results and competition. On an healthcare software development project, the sponsor is pushing for rapid result, emphasizing the need for incremental quick wins. However, key stakeholders, including the regulatory bodies and long-term investor advocates for a more traditional comprehensive project plan that ensure full compliance and thorough documentation. Schedule a session. Initiate a stakeholder and to understand their conflict and address them. Assign team members to negotiate solutions. Update the project to make it more frequent stakeholder. Directly negotiate and reconcile the conflicting stakeholder to streamline project. During a complex software development project, the project manager notes notices that several technical and operational challenges are arising due to conflicting requirements. What is the most effective strategy for the project manager? Stakeholder analysis to better understand conflicting, address them systematically. Facilitate a comprehensive training session aimed at enhancing the technical skill. Reallocate tasks to ensure that new members are only given assignments. Initiate individual mentorship pairing between new and experienced team members. Implement a peer review system where all code contributors are evaluated by multiple team members. Following the inclusion of two new members in an experienced software development team on a critical update for a banking application, the project manager notices a significant turn in the group's software and cohesion. What action should the project manager undertake to improve the situation? Initiate individual mentorship pairing between new and experienced team members. Convene with the design team to assess the plan and ensure compliance. Schedule a consultation with city planner. Notify the project sponsor about the disagreement. Revisit the project's environment and mechanism to identify oversight areas. On an urban renewal project, it's found that designs for a public park do not align with city environmental regulation. What should the project manager do first? Revisit the project's environment impact assessment to identify oversight areas. Hmm. Facilitate a collaborative planning workshop with all key stakeholders to integrate the expertise and secure buy-in for the project approach. Assign team leads for each stakeholder group to independently align their priorities and propose solutions. Focus on technological solution first, refining stakeholder input as a project planning, conducting early survey among stakeholders to gather high-level preferences, leaving detailed planning for later. In a project of to overhaul a city's public transportation system involving requirement, the project manager adopts a flexible management style. To develop a detailed plan with stakeholder alignment, what action should the project manager facilitate a planning workshop? Solicit feedback on skill confidence level from the team regarding upcoming project. Correlate project deliverables with individual expertise areas to highlight where additional training could enhance performance. Scan for emerging data analytic methodology, gauge the team's proficiency with these areas, and schedule specialized training session. Identify project specific technical requirement, discern skill gap within the team, and devise a tailored training agenda. For imminent data analytics project that will introduce cutting edge techniques and tools, the project manager is tasked with ensuring the team is adequately prepared and skilled. What initial action plan should the project manager take for team development? Implement a phase release strategy to monitor and control spending after each phase. Generate comprehensive risk management plan to identify and mitigate financial risk. Execute a cost benefit analysis for each proposed investment to evaluate affordability within budget. Review financial audits of similar urban renewal project to establish a baseline expectation. In the early stage of a project, to revolutionize a revitalize a historic city district, the project manager is tasked with ensuring the project remains within the strict budget set by the municipal funding. The project involved both restoration and modernization effort, with many stakeholders concerned that the innovative aspect may lead to unforeseen expenses. What proactive steps should the project manager take to ensure budget adherence? Generate a comprehensive risk management plan to identify and mitigate any financial risk. Convene a strategic planning session with the compliance and legal department to ensure the system aligns with future regulations. Hold off on any further development until the exact details of the regulations are published and can be thoroughly reviewed. Engage the project team in an impact analysis session to understand how the new regulation will affect the system design and functionality. Proceed with the pilot testing as planned while setting up a monitoring task force to track regulatory updates and implications. While refining an advanced healthcare management system, the project manager learns of impending healthcare data privacy regulation that could significantly affect the project scope. With the pilot testing phase approaching, what should the project manager do to address these regulatory changes? Engage the project in impact analysis to understand. Draft a personal letter of appreciation for the project manager and executive team. Discuss the mistake directly with the team member and apologize and arrange for recognition. Feature the team member's achievement, role, and prominent article. Secure a personal to align with the team member's interests. At the successful closure of an environmental conservation plan which achieved its goals and expectations, the project coordinator planned a ceremony to recognize the team member. During the tribute, the contributor was accidentally excluded from the list. What should the project manager take to rectify this oversight and ensure the overlooked team member feels acknowledged? Secure a personalized token that aligns with the team member's interest. Defer infrastructure upgrade until after addressing the immediate concern of the business owner and preservationists. Focus on the city council priority and they provide primary funding. Assign the individual lead to advocate each group interest and report back with recommending organized stakeholder prioritization workshop to collaboratively align on project goals and define a balance for initiative to revitalize a historic downtown area. The project manager must manage the diverse interests of business owners, historical preservation, and the city council, each proposing different priorities. The engineering team also suggests infrastructure upgrade critical for long-term sustain. What action should the project to manage a competing prioritization workshop? Implement preventive measure for risk associated with near-term phases of the project. Allocate additional to identify risk. Propose postpone any risk mitigation until the risk materializes into a more definitive issue. Incorporate a sorry generic mitigation clause into all contractors' agreement to cover potential risk. In the planning phase of an infrastructure upgrade project, the project manager collaborates with the team to map out and prioritize risks according to their potential impact on the project. What is the most effective strategy for managing the identify? Implement preventive measures for risk associated with the near-term phases of the project. I don't understand this question. Launching the delay the initiation of project down into a common detailed project plan for the collaborate with the IT and operation to sequence the infrastructure and the product backlog. Arrange for targeted training session on the new IT technologies. Direct team members to independently research the upcoming technology and propose implementation strategy. Now, launching a project to enhance the IT infrastructure of a manufacturing firm, the project manager is dealing with a team that lacks experience in the specific technologies, okay, that will be employed. Although the project's broad objectives have been defined, the team is unsure of what to start due to lack of detailed planning. What should the project manager do to start the project on solid footing? Technical implementation. I think collaborate. Implement the project using agile method. Manage the project with a hybrid blending with agile, and this utilize lean startup approach to rapidly prototype and test features. Segment the project into distinct deliverable sections with fixed review. Project managers overseeing the development of a new mobile application in a highly competitive time market. The client wants the application feature to remain adaptable to user feedback and market trend. The project team is considering using the data and trends from previous as a baseline. That is the most suitable project management approach. Implement the project using lean startup. Notify the project sponsor and stakeholder about the non-compliance and propose immediate action. Convene a meeting with the project team and compliance expert to assess the impact of the new regulation. All the construction until the project method and material are updated to meet the new standard. Collaborate with supplier to source compliant material while continuing construction with convey. Upon learning of a recent update in a safety regulation that affects a current infrastructure development project, the project manager realized that construction methods and material planned for use no longer comply. The project will need immediate adjustment to meet this. Halt all the construction. This was the question that I was telling. In this, we need to halt the construction until the project methods and material are updated to meet the new standard, and then we can convene a meeting with the team to assess the impact. Now I'm submitting. Hope for the best. Hoping for the best. 57. 57, which is 57 divided by 80, which is 71%. Oh my god. 57 plus 82 divided by 180, 77%. So it's okay, can't help it. One question. Svina. Risk assessment, okay. Now the point to evaluate how identity security affect the project scope, timeline, and budget. This analysis ensures the decision to integrate in the future. Okay, so this was correct. Okay. Initiate a review session with the design team to assess the project scope, including the okay. Initiating a review session with the design team allows the project manager to assess whether the stakeholders were missed, misunderstood, or intentionally excluded due to the scope limitations. Okay. Organize a cross-cultural training session to improve understanding cooperation. Cross-cultural training session addresses the challenges posed by geographically and culturally diverse team. Okay. Refer to technical challenge to the project. Convene a collaborative workshop with the project trying to find how technical environment. Yeah. So I told you like, I've, if this, not this. The development team. Okay. Well-informed decision as the agent to. Okay. Plan a briefing session for the new contract manager covering the project timeline, milestone achieved thus far. Planning a comprehensive briefing session ensures a smooth transition. Okay. Okay. We need to plan a session, briefing session. Okay. Facilitate regular team retrospective to identify improvement upon and celebrate success. Okay. Oh, shit. I didn't select this and I selected this answer only. Format accordingly. Critical phase. Okay. Their current discussion so that we remain on additional cost. Okay. Keep the project on track. Okay. And of project impact statement. Okay. Key achievement, quantifiable outcome of the project's contribution. Okay. Okay. Engage an environmental specialist. Specialize how to ensure that wildlife impacts are appropriately mitigated. As soon as the team demonstrates consistent progress. Okay. Implement a peer recognition program. I told you I like this sense of belonging and mutual respect. Conduct a comprehensive lesson learned session with the previous project team to identify improvement areas. Okay. A consultation with Silva on understanding personal compliance issues. Execute a detailed cost benefit analysis for each proposed event to alleviate affordability within budget. That only the most financial convene a strategic planning session with the compliance and legal team. Show the system align with the future regulations. Okay. Implement. Okay. A new entity. Technologies for the team. Targeted training across the team with necessary insight to handle the specific technologies involved. Implement using the agile methodologies. Yes. It's okay. I'm just happy that I got 77.2%. And one answer I was not able to click, otherwise, I would have scored 80%. it's okay. I think I'm getting better because initially I was getting like 50-60% when I started doing my mocks. So it's a positive increase in the numbers. So I'm really happy. Thank you everyone. I'll be posting another video. I'm thinking of taking a Udemy PMP course, a mock test basically, or the SH from PMP. Let's see what I will finalize. Bye bye. See you later, guys.